Goodbye, Lady Russell. And thank you.
Goodbye, my dear.
So you've come at last? I was beginning to think I'd never see you. Oh, Anne, I'm so ill I can hardly speak. I haven't seen a creature the whole morning.
Oh, Mary, I am sorry. You seemed so well when you wrote.
Oh, well, I made the best of it, as I always do. But I was very far from well at the time. I don't think I've ever been so ill as I am this morning.
Oh, dear me.
Well, certainly not well enough to be left alone. What if I was suddenly seized in some dreadful way and not able to ring the bell? So Lady Russell wouldn't get out. I don't think she's been in this house 3 times all summer.
She sent you her love, Mary. Where's Charles?
Oh, out shooting as usual. I haven't seen him since 7 o'clock this morning. He would go, though I told him how ill I was. He said he wouldn't be long, and now it's almost 1. Look.
Well, he must have had good sport, then.
Anne, I do believe that if Charles were to see me dying, he wouldn't believe there was anything the matter with me. You might try and persuade him while you're here that I really am very ill. Much worse than I ever admit. I assure you, I haven't seen a soul this whole long morning.
But haven't you had your little boys with you?
Oh, only as long as I could bear their noise.
Well, you will soon be better now. You know I always cure you. How are your neighbours at the great house?
I can't tell you I haven't seen one of them this morning. Oh, except Mr. Musgrove. And he only spoke at the window without getting off his horse. I told him how ill I was, but none of them's been to see me. The Miss Musgroves never put themselves out of their way, you know.
Well, it's early yet. They may be here at any moment.
Oh, I don't want them, I assure you. They laugh and talk much too much for me. Oh, Anne, I'm so very unwell. It was most unkind of you not to come on Thursday.
But, Mary, you wrote and said that you were in no hurry for me.
Oh, well. But you haven't asked me one word about our dinner at the pools yesterday.
But did you go? I thought you had been too ill for a party.
Oh, yes, I went. I was very well yesterday. There's nothing at all the matter till this morning. It would have been very odd if I hadn't gone.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, it was nothing remarkable. One always knows beforehand what the dinner will be and who will be there. It's so uncomfortable not having a carriage of our own. Mr. and Mrs. Musgrove took me, and we were so crowded. Oh, they're both so very large, and they take up so much room. And Mr. Musgrove always sits forward. So I was crowded into the back seat with Henrietta and Louisa. I think I'm ill today because of it.
I'm looking forward to seeing all the Musgroves again.
Well, you won't go and call on them till they've been to see you.
Oh, Mary, I wouldn't dream of standing upon ceremony with the Musgroves.
Yes, but they ought to call on you. No, they ought to feel what is due to you as my sister. You know, Mrs. Musgrove often fails to give me my due precedence when we dine at the great house.
Well, I'm sure it is only because she thinks of you as one of the family.
Well, I don't see why I should be considered so much at home as to lose my place, Anne. Oh, Charles, what a lovely white horse. Can you see it? Why don't you go and have a closer look? And take little Walter with you. Take him by the hand. What a very pretty bonnet you're wearing.
I'm so glad you've come, Anne. Mary looks better already.
Well, I'm good for her, Charles.
I do wish you could persuade her not to be always imagining herself ill.
I'll try.
There's never anything really the matter with her, you know. The boys are so ill-behaved. I could manage them perfectly well if only Mary wouldn't keep interfering.
Well, I dare say.
Excuse me, I'd better have a word with young Charles. Go on, Walter, after it. Go on. You can run faster than that. Just go on, eh?
Oh, they're so unmanageable, Anne. They do me more harm than good. Little Charles doesn't listen to a word I say, and Walter's getting quite as bad. Well, Charles spoils them so. Can't get them under any sort of control.
Does he?
Oh, yes. You know, I hate bringing them here, but Mrs. Musgrove's always wanting to see them.
But why, Mary? She is their grandmother.
Oh, she will indulge them so.
and give them so much trash and sweet things. They come back sick and cross for the rest of the day.
Well, it's only because she's so fond of them, I expect.
Oh, Anne.
I'm afraid it's no more than I expected, really.
Oh, Miss Anne, I cannot help wishing Mrs. Charles had a little of your method with those children. They're quite different creatures with you.
Well, I am their aunt. Children always behave better with aunts.
But in general, they are so spoiled. They are as fine, healthy creatures as ever were seen, poor little dears. And without partiality. But Mrs. Charles has no more idea how to treat them than... Oh, bless me, how troublesome they are.
Well, they are still very young, Mrs. Musgrove.
Ah, yes, but I assure you, Miss Anne, it prevents my wishing to see them at this house as often as I otherwise should. I believe Mrs. Charles is not quite pleased with my not inviting them oftener.
Oh, she has not said that to me.
It is very bad to have children with one that one is always having to check. Don't do this and don't do that. One can only keep them in tolerable order by giving them more cake than is good for them.
So, Miss Anne, Sir Walter and your sister are gone to Bath. Have you any idea where they'll settle?
Well, they're going to look about them before they decide, Mr. Musgrove.
Very wise, very wise. Well, here we are at Michaelmas again.
Yes, Mr. Musgrove, so we are.
Isn't it today the Crofts were coming to Kellynch?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Anne, I'd quite forgotten. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't remember before. Makes me feel very sad and low.
Oh, Mary. Anne, do come and play and cheer us up.
Why don't you play, Louisa? You're so good.
Oh, but I want to dance, Father. You will come and play, won't you, Anne?
Yes, of course I will.
There. Play that.
Oh, well done, Miss Anne, well done. Lord bless you, how those little fingers of yours do fly about.